So if you're watching this video, you may be wondering why, after receiving an intramuscular vaccination, your shoulder still hurts or you're starting to have limited range of motion. What you may be experiencing is called SIRVA, or shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. Here at the Shannon Law Group, we file petitions for people who experienced SIRVA injuries in the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. And we try to recover compensation in the form of pain and suffering, lost earnings, out-of-pocket medical expenses. Now, SIRVA isn't a medical diagnosis, and often if you go to the doctor, they're not going to diagnose you with SIRVA. So typically when you go, you'll explain to the doctor that you've been having pain and maybe some range of motion issues ever since you received the vaccine. What we know from the medical literature is that SIRVA occurs when an intramuscular vaccination causes the tendons, ligaments, or the bursa sac within your shoulder to become inflamed. So your initial symptoms will include pain, sometimes limited range of motion, strength deficits. Now, to your doctor, a SIRVA injury is not going to look dissimilar from other diagnoses that are typical for shoulder injuries, like frozen shoulder, impingement syndrome, tendonitis, bursitis, or a rotator cuff injury. Now, if you believe you're experiencing a SIRVA injury, it's imperative that you seek treatment as soon as possible. Usually the doctor is going to try some sort of conservative methods first, so physical therapy, cortisone shot injections, or pain medications. If those methods fail, sometimes surgery is indicated. Now, like I said, where we come in is to try and recover compensation for you if you've experienced a SIRVA injury. And we do that by filing petitions in the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. This is a no-fault compensation program that provides lost earnings, out-of-pocket medical expenses, pain and suffering for people who've experienced injuries due to vaccines. Now, there's some basic eligibility requirements to the program, including the fact that you received a covered vaccination. Now, for SIRVA, usually what we see are intramuscular vaccines, so the influenza vaccine, pneumonia, MMR, tetanus, and the HPV vaccine. You have to have symptoms of your injury for at least 6 months to be eligible for the program. And you also have to file your petition within 3 years of the date of onset of your symptoms. If you meet the basic eligibility requirements, the process for filing a petition is a little different than your typical civil lawsuit. We would draft the petition and gather all the evidence up front, so the medical records, affidavits, any other evidence we think will help support your entitlement to compensation. We file that at the outset of your case. And then it gets reviewed by the Department of Health and Human Services, who will determine whether they're conceding or disputing your vaccine injury case. Any disputes are handled by judges at the U.S. Court of Federal Claims. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is find a resolution with the government, either through settlement or through a hearing at the U.S. Court of Federal Claims. Now, the best part about this program is that it provides for attorney's fees. So hiring an attorney is free for the petitioner. We highly recommend hiring an attorney to help you navigate this program, to help recommend maybe when to seek a resolution of your claim versus litigation. And if you are required to litigate your claim, it's very helpful to have an attorney to navigate motion practice and advocate on your behalf for compensation.